This weekend coming up, the LIU Post men's basketball team will open their 2014-2015 campaign by hosting the LIU Post Tip-Off Tournament, featuring Franklin Pierce, AIC, and NYIT. Joining me now is the head coach of the Pioneers in his second season, Eric Smiles. Coach, last year was a growing year for you as well, changing from D3 to D2 and adjusting to the East Coast Conference. What did you take away for your first year here in Brookville?
Well, I learned a lot. I mean, obviously being in a new conference, you got to learn, 11 or 10 other teams' style of play, and this conference here, the ECC, is definitely a little bit different from my old conference, the Skyline, in terms of style of play and lineups, and how some of the coaches do what they do. So definitely was a learning year. I think year two would definitely we've adjusted well, kind of getting used to some of the teams. There's 3 or 4 new coaches in the league this year, so a couple teams we're back to square one with, but. Definitely was a good experience year one, and looking forward to building on that in year two.
Your team was the 4th seed in the East Coast Conference tournament, played against St. Thomas Aquinas, had a very difficult time with the Spartans, but then again they ran their way to the conference finals, so they were bent on a mission, you could say, I suppose. Yeah. So what were the things you kind of learned, and what's the chip on the shoulder coming into this season that you still have from that game?
Well, it's definitely a chip on the shoulder. I mean, we talk about that game almost every day in practice. When you're hosting a home playoff game and you lose to a team that you beat twice during the regular season, it's definitely disappointing. And we had a chance to win the game at the end, so I think our guys definitely take that loss with it, and it kind of has stuck with them throughout the off season. And we're definitely going into the season with a chip on our shoulder, wanting to get past and get out of the first round, and hopefully get a little revenge on Stack when we see them this year, and and make the run that we think we should.
Now, you only really lose one player from last year's team, so you look at your roster and it's a bunch of faces that are familiar to the Pioneers fans, led by PJ Torres, second team All-ECC player, but a lot of different players who had some different roles. Charles McCann is going to be huge down low on the block. Dylan Burns, Jared Hall, a tough guard combination. So let's talk about the players that are returning for this team this year. How excited are you to have these guys back?
Oh, couldn't be more excited. I mean, we have a great core coming back. I mean, obviously it starts with Torres. I mean, Torres is a dynamic wing scorer. He can shoot, he can put on the floor, he can get in the paint, create for others at any time. Then I think after that, next I go with Tyon. I mean, you talk about Tyon Williams, what he brings to the table. I mean, he's 6'6", wide shoulder with great touch. He can score in the perimeter from 18, 19 feet. He can jump hook you down low. The kid can play. And then you go on to guys like Dylan Burns, a heady point guard who played, has played about 28 to 30 minutes a game over his first 2 years. So he's an experienced junior now back. So I mean, you look at the wing scoring with Torres and the down low. Scoring with Tyon, and you talk about Dylan being an experienced point guard coming back, and then, of course, you can't forget about Charles McCann. He's your stereotypical tough New York kid. Double machine. He can guard the perimeter, he can guard the post, he can rebound the ball. He's a great leader in the locker room, on campus, on the floor. Then we have a lot of other great pieces back. Jared Hall, probably one of the most explosive scorers in the conference. As a freshman, and can definitely, I think, grow on that. Guys like Akosa and Chris Orozco, who can shoot the ball and really make some plays. So, I'm definitely happy, with the returning group that we have, and I think they're a great foundation for the program. And I really think that group, if they do what they should do, can really build off those 17 wins and have a nice run for us this year.
The dynamic also includes some new players that you brought in. A lot of them made about the transfer from Morehead State, Greg Dotson, and a few of the other players, including the 6'9" shooter, Zach Lyden. Yeah. So how will these new pieces fit into that puzzle for your team this year?
Well, I mean, obviously we needed help in the front line. We were down a post player last year, plus we graduated Vaughn Allen. So getting Greg Dotson, who's a 6'5", 6'6", just pogo stick. I mean, the kid jumps through the roof. He's a versatile defender. He can defend the perimeter, he can defend the post, he can score down low, he can shoot the 20-footer, he can run the floor, he's super athletic, he can change the game with his athleticism. Then you add in a 6'9" freshman with Zach Lyden, who can score with either hand around the rim and can shoot the ball really well from deep. And we also have Eric Bibbins coming off redshirt, which we always kind of forget about. He's a 6'4" wing, great defender, dynamic with the basketball, can probably even run some point guard for us in the pinch. So, you look at those 3 guys, with what we have back, as well as Nick Kahn, another 6'7" post player from Los Angeles that we brought in as well, I think can really give us some good minutes down low. I think we really improved our front court. We got deeper, we got bigger. We kept that same level of talent that we had last year and added some nice pieces. So I'm definitely happy with what we added down low and what we have back on the perimeter.
Second best team in the ECC, by no means is an easy start to the season. Franklin
Definitely
Pierce
not.
coming in, obviously they're a team that we're going to see in prime time on the NIT tip-off, and then AIC, who gave you a lot of problems in last year's tip-off tournament as well. So you got those two teams, and then it's Bloomfield, a nationally known squad, Absolutely. And then you've got a lot of other home games. Chestnut Hill, Concordia come in, and then after a little bit of break, you look at that game on December 9th with the number 2 team in the country.
Not that much of a break. Number 2 coming in.
No. So talk about this first weekend coming up. Obviously, the Ravens and the Yellow Jackets coming in to Brookville, and you're also going to see on NYIT a little bit here. So let's talk about the tournament. Talk about what you're going to see.
We got 4 great teams coming in. Obviously, Franklin Pierce. We face off with them day one. They were in the regional final last year. Won the region 2 years ago. They're just a powerhouse here in the East region. They returned. Ryan Vilmont is a dynamic 6'5" wing, really scores it. Dante Giddens, a 6'4" point guard, who's probably one of the most athletic, exciting players in the region, as well as the kid Beckins from Boston, who could really, really play. This kid, they took a break, dynamic scorer, combo guard. They play fast, they shoot it, they defend well, they're well coached, they're experienced. Franklin Pierce is it's a tough test first day, out this year. And AIC is good too. They have a new coach. I'm sure they'll kind of be like we were last year, talented, maybe hit some bumps in the road, but they got some players that they brought in. They returned Bobby Harris, who I think is one of the best players in the region. Kind of an underrated guy, and I think the Harris kid can really, really play and give us fits. And then of course Bloomfield. After that, on Wednesday after the tip-off tournament is, they've been in the NCAA tournament 6 or 7 out of 8 years. So it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see our next door, neighbor, our rival NYIT, even though we don't play them until later in the year. They come in as a 3rd team in the tip-off tournament. To face off the other 2 Northeast 10 teams. And New York Tech definitely has a much improved roster from last year. And I think their team in the ECC you're going to see take a big bump to get into that playoff mix.
So it's a 4:45 start on Saturday, November 15th, LIU Post against Franklin Pierce. Then on Sunday, LIU Post AIC at 3:15 p.m. Head coach Eric Smiles, thank you for joining us. And again, best of luck to you as the season starts off.
Thanks so much.